Ooh, the difference between working mums and working dads. I think I've got it easy, to be fair. Although I have the occasional morning feed. I say the occasional morning feed, I tend to get all the morning feeds, but I get to come to work and I get to, I suppose in many ways not forget about being a dad, because they're always in my mind, but I get a chance to take myself out of home and away from looking after a baby and concentrate on something else.
The difference between working dads and working mums, I really don't think there is much difference. I think there's been a massive shift over the last couple of years there's more balance between dads that stay at home and look after the kids while the mum is the full-time earner. I don't think there's much difference.
I don't think there's any major difference between working dads and working mums. My wife works full-time. We tend to do it as she's a bit of an early bird and I'm a bit of a night owl, so she takes the early shift and I do the later one there. But we both work full-time. We both, I'd say, do an equal amount of things with our daughter. I don't think there's too much between them.
Well, working mums definitely have it harder because working dads probably don't put quite as much into the household as mothers probably do on average. So my wife actually works, she's always worked, so she goes to work in the morning, sometimes I do, gets home at the same time of the night, and then probably most people would expect her to do most of the stuff thereafter, even though I'm very helpful.
If I'm honest, I don't think there's much of a difference. Maybe historically there was, typically with the mum would stay at home. I think in modern day and age is that everybody is being more career driven. I don't think there's much of a change, and with remote working and flexibility it becomes a bit more easier to be able to do that. So I don't think in modern age there's much of a difference. Mums probably should get a little bit more credit because they tend to do school runs and things like that a little more.
Biggest difference? In my family, nothing, because we both work full time, we both do similar hours. My partner works weekends, every weekend, but in terms of hours we work, it's the same, so I'd say there's no difference in my work life and her work life as it stands, in my experience.
I don't think there is. Being totally honest, the hardest thing for me ever was the first day I had to come back to work and leave them just after I finished maternity. That was really hard. Obviously my partner took a year off, which was great. But now I don't think there is a difference. I have the flexibility to go home if I need to if he isn't well. I can take 6 days to look after him. Obviously there is a stereotype that it does fall more on the mum, but I think as we move forward it really doesn't. It is an equal, it is really equal. And I'm hoping they'll offer paternity for men as well. It'd be nice to have a year off.
Personally, I think that the job of a working mum, or the role of a working mum, is far more difficult than that of a working dad. I'm maybe in a slightly different place now because my children are all teenagers, but I know from when they were younger, when they have sick days, when they have off days, when they need this doing, that doing, school runs, pickups, all those sort of things, is, I think, an incredible challenge for anybody to do. And so I have the utmost respect for particularly women that manage to fit that in around a quite often busy, responsible and stressful job as well, because they must have to be so organised and disciplined with their time. Being a man, I'm not particularly good at multitasking, so if my job were to look after the children full-time and work as well, which I know for many people it is, male and female, incredibly tough job, incredibly tough, and like I say, utmost respect for people that can do it.
I would say probably the biggest difference between a working dad is that although dads think that they probably take on a great deal of responsibility, I think however way you look at it, mothers have an additional responsibility where they have to be the ones that are particularly well organised, and fathers probably think they are, but not as well organised as mothers are.
I think nowadays I don't think there's a massive difference in terms of, well, most definitely the pressures people face at work, but actually I still think it's a lot harder for women than it is for men. I think they've got a strong emotional bond with their children. Society is kind of almost forcing them to go out to work to provide income for households to help supplement their father's work. So actually I still think that women have it a lot tougher than men nowadays.